In this video, I'm going to walk you through how I fillet and scale a whole fish, and I have this beautiful wild-caught coho salmon from Copper River Seafood to show you guys. So let's dive into the process.
So ideally, I would like to do this in a big sink, but I don't have a giant sink. So you always want to make sure you have a really wet rag on hand. All right, I always like to start right at the top because this is always forgotten, and this is where you're gonna fillet it, right along that top back portion of right along the spine. So if you miss any of these, your knife is gonna catch a scale and it just won't slice properly. And normally I would be going crazy with this. If I was in an industrial professional kitchen, I'd be going a little bit faster. But since I'm at home, if you go really quick, I mean, the scales go everywhere. So if you have a really deep sink, it's ideal to be working in that type of environment when you're filleting whole fish. But here I'm just gonna kind of take my time, not too much time because I wanna get this done while it's still cold, but you just wanna take your time, a little bit more at home than you would at a kitchen. And this is where the rag comes in handy. You just give it a good wipe. Now you just wanna make sure you rinse off your board and wipe your countertop off. And right before you place your clean cutting board right back on the countertop, just take a little rag that has a tiny bit of bleach with it, a little bit of Clorox, or you can have these little sanitation like pellets that you put in water that'll kill any bacteria. You could use that, or just a little dab of bleach on a towel and just wipe down your surface every once in a while to just have that peace of mind that you're not spreading bacteria absolutely everywhere. But just, you want to make sure you use just a little bit of bleach. Don't go overboard. You can always do a deep clean after you're done filleting and just with the whole fabrication process. Put this back, cutting board. You always want a wet rag to wipe down your knife. So I put that right off to the side. One last little wipe down to make sure all the little scales, or as many of the scales are off, because if you get one scale in your food, it kind of just ruins the whole thing. Cut all the way down to the backbone. All right. Turn this back around. So I'm gonna follow the backbone and just separate that back piece and then work my way down the fillet until I get right to the central bones, and then I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna cut the bones on the other side. So find that center, follow it all the way back, right above the dorsal, give it a wipe. Flip that over, and then you're gonna take that belly, lift it up, cut right above this last little fin right here. Kind of gives you where it should be cut. The separation right there, that's what you're looking for. And you broke through all those bones that were connecting the rib cage to the back. Take it, lift it up, disconnect the tail, give it a little wipe. There's a beautiful fillet of salmon. And I'm gonna do the same guideline. Give it a quick sharpen. One thing I want to note is that keeping one hand wet and one hand dry is really important. If you start messing with the fish with two hands and you want to pick up your knife, you're going to get a really slippery handle. So if you can, elevate your fish fabrication over time, you really want to keep one dry hand and one wet hand at all times, because it does get slippery the more and more you work with fish. Okay, turn it around. Same thing, and you're gonna work your way the opposite direction, breaking all those rib bones across just with the tip of your knife. Beautiful fillet of fish, really beautiful. That last little tail portion got hairy, but overall, just absolutely gorgeous. Maybe a little less than one fillet, probably less than one fillet worth of meat left on that backbone. And that's it. Beautiful. This is probably one of my favorite parts because it's really just super, super easy. With this, you just want to pull. You don't want to be angling down, you want to be angling towards the bone. These bones are pretty strong. As long as you're not cutting into them, you won't cut through them. Run that knife. You can almost see my knife wanting to run along those bones. Good clean sweeps if you can. Comfortable with it. Sweet. And you're gonna just trim this belly line just ever so slightly. There you go. Beautiful. So they actually, Copper River Seafood sent me this little gift box. Pretty cool. Has a lot of fun little goodies, some smoked wild Copper River salmon, some sea salts and fun stuff. Really cool fish spatula that is just, it's probably gonna be one of my favorite spatulas. Has a little branding on it with a wild Alaska Copper River Seafood. Super cool, very well made, but my favorite is this pin boners from Japan. You could tell a company is really invested in their culinary aspect of their company, at least, when you get fish tweezers that are this nice. Very, very cool stuff. And with this, if you're good enough and you're comfortable and you have good fish tweezers, you don't need a little cup of water for it. You just want to collect them as you go along. Pinch, pull, and you want to pull with the grain. So if you pull against it, it's just going to shred that fillet. And you're just going to do this until all the pin bones are out. All right, so all the pin bones are out. Beautiful piece of salmon. Time to portion this. There's lots of different ways you can do it. You can do tranche cuts, which are just kind of on a bias. You can do straight up and down. You can do some similar cuts that are about 6 to 7 ounces a piece. First thing I'm gonna do is cut this little head portion off. It's a nice fillet. And then this last little bit is tricky. You can get one more fillet out of it. It's gonna be a little weird. And then you got that tail portion, of course, to still save that. This one you might trim up just a little bit. It's a beautiful piece of coho salmon. That was a really fun little demo on how to fabricate a salmon, a whole salmon, or at least a whole piece of fish, into these beautiful little fillets. I'm going to be showing you guys how to cook these fillets and what to pair it with. And then the video following that, I'm going to show you how to cure a whole fillet and do some fun stuff with some cured salmon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below letting me know if you guys would like to see different recipes with this or just future demos on how to fabricate whole fish. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time with another recipe. Later, folks.
Thank you.